Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be working on part 6 of our application, and part 6 is going to be comprised of the entertainment portion as well as the saved portion. So this is going to be the end of our project. As you can see here on the last one, we built out the character portion where if you click on any character, you're able to see the image, or you're able to see the comics they were in, you're able to save the image and see AI recommendations for the image thanks to GPT-4o implementation within the application. But with all that said, let's jump right into it. We're going to be creating our favorite entertainment, not favorite entertainment. We're going to be creating the entertainment portion of our application first. So to begin, we can close out of our characters, and now we want to go into our backend. In the backend, we want to create a model called entertainment.js. Now with this one, it's going to be similar to what we have in I believe characters or comics. So it's going to be similar to what we have in comics, meaning we're going to be taking in our response from our API and saving it as a model within saving it within our schema within the model file. So here's how we go about that. So we're going to say import mongoose from mongoose, and then we're going to say const entertainment schema is equal to new mongoose.schema, and here we're going to state entertainment ID. Entertainment ID is going to be, this is going to be type string. Then we're going to have required, and this is going to be true. So we're going to have type, and type is going to be comprised of type string, and then we're going to have required, and this is going to be true. And then we're going to have enum, and this is going to be an array called so we're going to have movie, and then we're going to have TV. So this is going to be an option we're going to have to pick between. So after type, we're going to have overview, and this is going to be string. We're going to have poster path, and this is going to be string. We're going to have release date, and this is going to be string. Then we have genre IDs, and this is going to be an array of number. There we go. And then we're going to have user, and this we're going to connect with our user model. So we're going to say type is going to be mongoose.schema.types.object ID, and then we're going to say reference to user required is going to be true. Awesome. And then we're going to have saved, and saved is going to be type boolean because it's going to be a true or false. And then we're going to have default is going to be false. Now we're going to have trailer key, and this is how we get our trailer, and this is going to be type, and this is going to be string, and this is going to be default null. Then we're going to have number of seasons, and this is going to be type number. Then we're going to have default is going to be 0. We're going to have number of episodes, and this is going to give us type. So we're going to have type, and this is going to be number, and default is also going to be 0. And then we're going to have status, and status is going to be string. And lastly, we're going to have a rating, and rating is going to be type number. There we go. And timestamps, and this is going to be true. Cool. Let's take these two out of there. There we go. So this is what it's going to be. So let's fix that up. Yeah, so this is going to be our entertainment schema right here. And now what we want to do is we want to say export default mongoose.models.entertainment or mongoose.model entertainment, and this is going to be entertainment schema. There we go. So this is what we have for our entertainment schema. So this is the whole thing right here. So after we do that, we can go ahead and start setting up our API. So let's head over to API. And then within API, we're going to have a new folder. And this folder is going to be called entertainment. And within entertainment, we're going to have route.js. Cool. So here we're going to import Axios from Axios. We're going to say import entertainment from entertainment, and then we're going to import db connect. So for our database, now we want to export const dynamic for when we do deploy this. So it's going to be force dynamic. Awesome. Now we want to say export async function, and this is going to be a get, and then we're going to take the request, and then here we're going to say await database connect. Awesome. So now we can state const API key is equal to process.env.api key. Awesome. So the API key is currently in my env file, and I'm getting that from TMDb because that's the API key that's the API endpoint that we're going to be reaching to get our data. So you're going to have to get the API key from TMDb. So with that said, let's go ahead and finish this up. So here we're also going to have const base URL, and this is going to be HTTPS, and this is going to be api.themoviedb.org/3. So pretty much we're just using TMDb, so the movie database. We're reaching that API endpoint. So if you go within the docs for TMDb, you should see how to set everything up. But this is the base URL, and then we're going to be able to fetch our Marvel movies and our Marvel TV shows with other logic that we're going to implement right now. So here we want to use a try catch. And with try, we want to say const movies response is equal to await axios.get. And then we're going to be using the string base URL /search/movie. So we're going to be using this string. So we're taking the base URL, we're adding the search, and then movie. So this is what we're going to be doing. And then we're going to add the parameter. So let's do this. And the params here is going to be API key, and this is going to be API key, and we're going to say query, and no, lowercase query, and this is going to be Marvel. So before we get the response back, what we want to do is we want to also fetch Marvel TV shows. So we're going to say const TV shows response is equal to await axios.get, and here we're pretty much going to do the same thing. We're going to say this, except this is going to be TV, and then we're going to add the same parameters. So let's just take this and plug it in there. Now we can combine the results by saying const combined results is equal to an array, and we're going to be using the spread operator. So movies response dot data dot results dot map, and here we're going to say item is equal to spread operator item type is going to be movie. Cool. And then we're gonna do pretty much the same thing for TV shows. So we're just gonna take this, copy it, come down here, and we're gonna do let's see. So here we're gonna say TV show response. There we go, TV show response. And it's going to be .data.results.map as well, but here the type is going to be TV. So let's see, what do we do? Oh, we forgot a comma here. There we go. Awesome. So once we do that, now we want to extract the user ID from the query parameter. So we're doing that because we're going to be trying to get our saved items for the user. So the same way we have saved items for our character in our comics. So when the user refreshes, we can see what items were saved and what items were not saved with the heart-shaped icon. That's what we want to do here. So we're going to say const search params is equal to new URL, and we're going to say request.url. And then we're going to say const user ID is equal to search params.get, and we're going to be getting that user ID. Awesome. Now, if we do have the user ID, then we want to fetch all the saved items for the user. So we're going to say const saved items is equal to await entertainment dot find. And this is going to be user ID. And then we're going to say const saved items ID is equal to saved items dot map. So we're going to map through our saved items, and this should look familiar because we pretty much did that the whole time for the other for characters and comics. So items, so this should be item dot entertainment ID. So it should be lowercase. Cool. So after doing that, now we can add our saved ID. So we can add saved status to our item. So now we want to add the saved status to the items. So we're going to say const results with saved status, let's say saved states is equal to combined results.map. We're going to take an item, and then we're going to state use a spread operator for item, and then we're going to say entertainment ID is going to be item dot ID to string, and then is saved is going to be saved items IDs dot includes, and this is going to be item dot ID dot toString. So it should be saved items ID. Oh, did I say ID? That should be IDs. There we go. There we go. So now we've just added our saved status to items. So this is going to let us know if the items has been saved or not, which is going to be useful in the front end. And then now we're going to say return next response.json, and this is going to be results with saved states, and this is going to be status of 200. So now we can come up here and we can now say return. So let's scroll up. So now we're going to say return next response.json. And here we're just going to simply state combined. So this should say combined, not comic issue. Combined. So let's take this out. Okay. So combined results, and then we're going to say status of 200. So we practically did this 3 times now. So I'm not going to go ahead and explain this. It's been explained twice with characters and comics. So it's pretty much, I just redid the same thing. So here it's going to be console.error, and then error fetching Marvel Entertainment data. And this is going to be error. And then this is going to be return next response.json, and this is going to be message internal server error. Cool. And the status here is going to be 500. Cool. So this is practically the whole code. So this is our whole entertainment backend API. So what we want to do now is create our entertainment search, and then after that we want to work with getting our saved data. So what we want to do is we want to close out of this, then we're going to go back to API again, and then here we're going to create a new folder, and this is just going to be called entertainment search. So entertainment search, and here we're going to have route.js. Awesome. So here we're going to import Axios. We're going to be importing DB Connect, and then we're going to export the sync function, and this is going to be a post, and we're going to take in a request. So what we're doing here is similar to what we did with, so here we're going to say database connect, and what we're doing within this API route is similar to what we did with comic search and character search. So I'm just going to speed run through it. So if we scroll down here, the only difference is because we're going to be getting 2 different responses, movie response and TV data response, well, the TV response, we're going to find a way to get the promises for both of them before we respond with the data. So here we're going to say const entertainment search, and this is the data we get from the front end. So this is going to be entertainment search, and it's going to be equal to await request.json. Awesome. If there is no entertainment search, then we want to return a next response.json of message missing required field, and that we want to state status is going to be 400, as it is a front end error. Cool. So if it's not, and if we do have entertainment search, then we want to say const API key is equal to process.env.api key. So we're using the same API key for that we used within the entertainment route, the entertainment API route. And then we're going to say const base URL, and it's going to be the same thing. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to entertainment and copy that. Come back here. There we go. And then let's close out of this. Now we're going to say, let's close out of this as well. So now we're going to state const encoded search term is equal to, let's bring this up. It's going to be equal to encoded URI component, and this is going to be entertainment search. Cool. Now we're going to have try catch, and within our try, we're going to say const an array for movie response and TV response is going to equal await promise all, and this is going to be axios.get, and we're going to be getting we're going to be using the route. So this is going to be the URL, so it's going to be base URL /search/movie, and then the params here is going to be the same thing as we had in entertainment. So it's going to be API key, query is going to be encoded search term, which is this up here. So now we're going to do the same thing again for TV show. So we're going to come down here, and then here, let's just copy this and put it down here. And then here, we're going to be doing it for TV, and it's going to be the same thing. So, yeah, it's going to be the same thing. So now we want to say const combined results, which is going to be this, is going to equal, so it's going to be the response of this. So it's going to be spread operator. Actually, it's going to be an array. Then it's going to be a spread operator, and then it's going to be movie response. Let's just do this. Let's take this out. And let's go to entertainment. We're just going to copy what we have in entertainment because it's pretty much the same thing. So let's see. Do we have to make any changes? Yeah, so I just made this movie, and I made this TV response. There we go. So it's pretty much the same thing. You just got to make it movie response so it can correlate with this, and the other one's going to be TV response so it can correlate with that. So that's practically it. So now we can come down here and say const detailed results is equal to await promise dot all, and we're going to get combined results dot map, and this is going to be asynchronous, and we're going to take an item, and we're going to state try catch, and within try we're going to say const detail response. So it should be detailed. There we go. So it should be detail response is equal to await axios.get, and we're gonna get the data using this URL. So it's going to be axios.get base URL / item.type, which is going to be either a movie or a TV, movie or a TV show / entertainment ID. So we're getting that from the combined results. So we're going to map through it and get all this values based on what we search. And then you want to take the params of API key, and that's it. So that's all we're doing there. And so after doing so, we can come here and say const details. So details is equal to details response dot data. Awesome. Now let's see, we should still be within, there we go. Now we can state return, and for return we're going to use a spread operator and say item, not items, it should be just item, and then this would be producer, and the producer is going to be details dot production dot companies dot map, and we're going to say company and company dot name. Actors is going to be details dot credit dot cast dot slice 010. There we go. So let's do it this way. So this looks better. So actors is going to be details dot credits dot cast dot slice 010, and then we're going to say dot map as well. And then when we map through it, we're going to get actor, and we want the actor dot name. Awesome. And then lastly we want the rating, and the rating is going to be details dot vote average. There we go. So with that, we have all the data that we need. So now we can say catch error, and for the catch we're just going to say so actually let's call this details error. There we go. And this would be console.error. error fetching details for, and then whatever we searched. This is going to be item.entertainment ID. And this is going to be details error. So let's use backticks here. Cool. Now we can return. So let's do this. Awesome. So now we can return. And this is going to be item. So spread operator item. Going to have the producer. And this is going to be an empty array because it's an error. And then actor or actors is also going to be an empty array. Then we're going to say rating is going to be null. And this is if we have an error. So let's see, catch. There we go. Let's see, promise all. Awesome. Now we can state if detail results dot length is equal to 0, then we want to return next response.json, and this is going to be message no results found, and we're going to have a status of 404. Awesome. And then here we want to return next response. So if we do have detailed response, so if the detailed response is greater than 0, then we're going to say next response.json, and this is going to be detailed results with a status of 200. Awesome. Now we have an error here, and it's going to be console.error error fetching data error, and let's just give it a return here next response.json, and this is going to be message, and the message here is going to be error fetching data. Let's do this and give it a status of 500. Awesome. So just like that, we're done with our search. So this is what our search is. Cool. So let's do this. Let's say detail error. So that way it looks a little better. Cool. So what we need to do now is we need to create a get saved entertainment route. So let's go ahead and close this, and then here we'll come over to API, new folder, and this is just going to be get saved entertainment. So let's rename it. So it should be lowercase. There we go. And then we'll give it a route.js. And then here we're going to say import entertainment. We're going to import database connect. And now we want to export a sync function get request. And here we want to say await database connect. And we want to say const URL is equal to new URL. And we're going to get request.url. So next we want to extrapolate the user ID. So user ID is equal to url.searchparams.get. This is going to be user ID. Awesome. Now we can say if we don't have the user ID, then we want to return next response.json of message. And the message here is going to be user ID, query parameter is required. Awesome. And then we're going to give it a status of 400. Cool. So if we don't have the user ID. If we do have the user ID, we want the try catch, and we want to say const saved entertainment is equal to await entertainment.find, and we're trying to find the user, which is going to be the user ID. Entertainment, there we go. And then we want to return next response.json entertainment, and this is going to be saved entertainment and entertainment, there we go. And this is going to be status of 200. So basically we're just searching within the database to see if we have anything saved under this user ID. If we have, so we're trying to see if we have saved entertainment, and we finding based on the user ID. So we're trying to see if the user has anything saved. If the user does, then we just return everything. So we're just returning entertainment, which is going to be saved entertainment, and then we're going to give it a status of 200. Cool. And then for error, we're just going to state console.error, and here we're going to say error finding saved entertainment, and then we can say error, and then we want to say return next response.json, and this is going to be message, and this is going to be internal server error, and we have a status here of 500. Awesome. So just like that, let's do this. Awesome. So just like that, we have all this for our get saved entertainment. So that's practically it. So we're just going to move on to our next one, which is going to be saved entertainment. So this is it for get saved entertainment. And then now we're going to move on to just saved entertainment. So what you want to do is come over to API again, new folder, and this is going to be saved entertainment. Saved entertainment, and then we're going to have route.js. So here we're going to say import entertainment, then we're going to import user, then we're going to import database connect. So we're going to export a sync function, and this is going to be a post request. There we go. And then we're going to say await database connect. Here we're going to say try catch. And within try, we're going to say const. We're going to get item and the user ID from the front end. So await request.json. Awesome. And then we're going to say if there is no user ID or item, then we want to state return next response.json, and this is going to be message please sign in and resave item. And then if you are signed in, basically you have that user ID and item passed in, then you're able to say const user is equal to await user that find by ID, and we're going to be finding with user ID. Awesome. So if there is no user, so this is another step in error handling, we're just going to return next response.json, and here we're going to state message, the message here, okay, the message here is going to be please sign in. Awesome. And then we're going to have status of 401. else now we can check to see if the item already exists in the database. So if there is a user, we're going to say const existing item is equal to await entertainment.find, and this is going to be, well, find one, and this is going to be entertainment. Let's use lowercase entertainment, and this is going to be item.id to string. There we go. And now we can state, let's do this. There we go. And now we can state user is going to be user ID. Cool. So if we do have the existing item, then we want to return next response.json, and this is going to be message item is already saved. Cool. Else we can ensure that the items we can ensure the item includes all the necessary fields that we want. So we can say if there's no item type, or there's no movie or TV, that includes item dot type. There we go. Let's see if blah blah. Oh, there we go. Dot includes item dot type. Then we want to return next response.json, and this is going to be message invalid. Let's make sure this is a string. There we go. Invalid or missing type field. Cool. Now, if we do have all this, then we want to create a new entertainment item within the database. So we're going to state, actually, I'm just going to copy it. So give me 1 second. So we're going to have this. So rather than write the whole thing out, this is what we're going to have. So basically, we're alluding to that modal that we created, the schema we created within our modal for entertainment, and we're just plugging things into that schema. So entertainment ID is going to be, so the whole thing is going to be const. So let me scroll up here. Here we're going to have, if we don't have this, then we're going to respond with message invalid or missing type field. If we do have it, then we're going to say const new entertainment is equal to new entertainment, the schema, and we're going to have entertainment ID is going to be item.id to string. Type is going to be item type. Title is going to be item.title or item.name. I think movie has title and TV shows has name as the option. Overview is item.overview. Poster path is poster path. Release date is going to be item.release date or item.first air date, depending on if it's a TV show or a movie. Genre IDs is going to be item.genre ID, so it's going to either be a movie or a TV show. So user is going to be user ID. Saved is true because when you plug it in here, it's going to be saved. Number of seasons, item.number of seasons or 0. Number of episodes, item.number of episodes or 0. The status is going to be item.status or just an empty string. The rating here is going to be item.vote average, and we could just take this out. That just reminded me to make sure I have the rating. So rating here is going to be item.vote average. Rating here is going to be item.vote average, and then at the end we're going to await and save it. So await new entertainment.save, and that's all we're going to have there. So that's pretty much it. Then we can go to our catch error. Actually, we want to return it first. So let's return next response.json, and this message is going to be item saved successfully. Cool. And then we can have the status of 200. Cool. And now for the error, we're going to say console.error, and this is going to be error saving item, and this is going to be error. So let's put a colon here. Awesome. And then we want to say return next response.json, and here we're going to say message is going to be internal server error. Cool. Let's just place this and then do that. Okay, and then we can say let's pass that status. So status is going to be 500. Awesome. So this is what we have here. Cool. So we have all this for the saved entertainment, and that's pretty much it. So now what we want to do is we want to create the trailer API. So this is where we're going to get our trailer. So we're going to connect it with YouTube to get our trailer. So what we want to do is we want to close out of this. We want to come back to API again. And here we're going to have a folder called trailer. And in trailer, we're going to have a new file. And this is going to be route.js. So we can close out of that. Here we're going to say import Axios from Axios. We want to say const key is equal to process.env.api key. Cool. And then we're going to say export a sync function, and this is going to be a post, and then we're going to pass in a request here. And here we're going to say try catch. And for try, we're going to say const media type. And we're going to pass in the ID as well. And we're getting this from the front end. So it's going to be await request.json. Cool. And now we can say if we don't have the media type or the ID, so if we don't have both, then we can return next response.json. And here we're going to say message. And the message here is going to be missing required fields, and the status is going to be 400. Cool. And now we're going to normalize our media type so that it can be passed into so it could be properly passed within our it could be properly passed to our API endpoint. So we're going to say const normalized media type is equal to media underscore type, which is equal to TV series. Yeah, let's just do that. Or, well, so if the media type is TV series, then we want it to be TV, else we want it to be media type. There we go. So now we'll be able to pass that on. So we're able to say const response is equal to await axios.get, and we're just going to pop in that URL. So the URL is going to be this. Okay, so let's just do this. And we're going to come over here and do this. Awesome. So let's see, where did we do wrong? Okay, let's go back here first. All right, now we can do this. Pop that in there. And for some reason it's still wrong. Let's see why. Let's come over here. Okay. All right, so let's see. Catch error if, okay. Let's say console.error. Oh, there's not even a, I don't know why I did that. So let's just do this. Awesome. So, yeah, so this is going to be our URL. So it's going to be https api.themoviedb.org/3, and then we're going to pass in what kind of a media type it is. So here it's going to either be TV or movie. So we're going to pass it in there, and then the ID that we get from the front end, and then we're making sure it's videos, and then we're going to pass in the API key. and the language is going to be English US. You can, depending on what the doc says, you're able to change it to other languages as well. So I'm just going to be using English in this scenario. So actually before we come to catch error, let's just go back. So let's do this. Awesome. So before we have catch error, we're just going to come down here 1, and this is going to say const data is equal to response.data, and then we're going to say const trailer is equal to data.results.find, and then we're going to take the video. So we're going to take a video, and for video we're going to say video.type, and then we're going to state is equal to trailer. There we go. And there we go. Video.site is equal to YouTube. Cool. So now we can say const trailer key. So trailer key is equal to trailer. Then we're going to say trailer.key, else it's going to be null. So we're trying to get just the trailer key if we don't have a trailer key. So if there's a trailer, we get the trailer key. If there's not, so if there's a trailer, we get the trailer key. If not, then it's null. That's all we're saying. So now we can return next response.json, and here we're going to say trailer key. That's what we're going to pass, and then we're going to say status is 200. Cool. So we're passing trailer key and then the status of 200. Now we can work on our error. So the error here is going to be console.error, and this is going to say failed to fetch trailer, and this is going to be error. And then we can say return next response.json, and here we're going to say error message is failed to fetch trailer, and then we can say status is going to be 500. Cool. Awesome. So this is basically it. So this is all we need for trailer. So we're pretty much done with it. So this is all we're going to be needing for trailer. So now we can go ahead and create our last API route, which is going to be entertainment recommendation. And this is when we use GPT-4o to get recommendations for our entertainment section. So let's go ahead and close out of this. And then we can open up API again, get a new folder. And this is going to be entertainment recommendation. And then here it's going to be route.js. Cool. So let's go ahead and close that out. So here we're going to say import. Actually, you know what we can actually do is we can just copy. Let's get character recommendation. So let's see if we have character recommendation here. There it is. So let's copy this, and then we'll just make changes to it because it's pretty much the same thing. So here, I'm just going to go through it. So here, we're going to have Axios, crypto. Okay, that's quite a lot. So let's go ahead and take all this. Awesome. So we're going to be needing Axios, and then we don't need crypto, so we can take that out, and we can take all this out because we are not going to be needing this. Cool. So what we're going to need is let's take every single one of this out. Cool. So what we're going to need is item details. That's pretty much it. So it's going to be a post request, and then we're just going to say const item details is equal to await request.json. Cool. And then we're going to be needing const API key, which is going to be equal process .env .open AI key. Cool. And then we're going to be needing const TMDb TMDb API key, which is going to be process.env API key. Cool. And then let's make sure it's not the same. Let's make this a little different. So API key, let's call it OpenAI key. OpenAI, let's say OpenAI, that's fine. OpenAI key, TMDb API key, okay, that's fine. So that way we don't get it mixed up. Okay, and now we can say const base URL, and you know what, I'm just gonna copy this, and it's gonna be this. So let's do this. Awesome. So it's going to be the api.themoviedb.org/3, which is what we've been using for the base URL the whole time. So now we can say if there's no API key, well, it should be OpenAI. If there's no OpenAI, let's change this to AI key. There we go. So if there's no AI key, there we go. Or there's no TMDb key. Okay. Then we want to return next response.json, and here we're gonna say message, and the message here is going to be API keys are not configured. Cool. And then we're going to say status of 500. Actually, we can also console log error here, console.error, and we're just going to state API keys are not set in .env. So that's just a way to, so that way if we just open a console, we can easily see what's going on. So now we can say if we do have it, then it's going to be const. We're going to take title, type, description, and this is going to equal item details. Cool. Now we can now state, cool, for const messages. So now for const messages, we're pretty much just gonna keep it the same in the same format, let's put it that way, but we're just gonna change the wording around. So here, where's the mouse? Okay, so for here, we're gonna say const messages. The role is gonna remain as system, and then we're gonna state you are a helpful assistant that provides 10 Marvel character recommendations. So instead of 10 Marvel character recommendations, we're going to say 10 Marvel there we go. So 10 Marvel TV/movie recommendations. So TV/movie recommendations. Cool. Based on the description, that's fine. And then for user, we're going to be passing in title, which is title, and then type, which is type or not available. So description is going to stay the same as description. And here we're going to say, instead of please provide each recommendation as a JSON object with the following keys, type keys, title, type, description. We're going to state, actually, we're just going to keep it the same way. So our content is going to be the same, which is going to be please provide each recommendation as a JSON object with the following keys, title, type, description. The response should be an array of 10 objects. So that's completely fine. And so we're going to keep it that same way. For the AI response, we're going to keep it the same, and then let attempts equal 0. Max attempt is going to equal 4. And for recommendations, we can take that out. So here, we're going to say the same thing. So while attempts is less than max attempts, const response is equal to this. We're going to keep it this way, except this should be GPT-4o messages. So let's go back here. So that means in the one we picked, I think that was character recommendation. I think we're using 4 instead of 4o, which is not what we want. Yep, this should be 4o. Cool. Then we can close out of that. So this is GPT-4o. Messages is going to be messages, and yeah, it's pretty much set how we want it to be set. The only difference here is for bearer token, it's not going to be API key, it's going to be AI key. Cool. So that's practically it. So here we're going to say AI response is response to, so this is completely fine. So this is going to clean up any markdown formatting around the JSON. So I just found this and I just plugged it in there. So that's how we figured this part out, because this is pretty much a regex and I'm not too good at that. So I just used this replace that I found and it works perfectly fine. So you can have the same thing that's what we've been using the whole time. So you just have AI response is equal to AI response.replace, and then we just plug this in, and then .trim just cleans up any white space around it. So this just modifies it, like it says, modified, cleaned up any markdown formatting around the JSON. So if you don't have this, more times than not, you're going to have an error. So I kept running into an error. So I found this, and this works fine for it. So for our try catch here, we're just going to keep it the same way with recommendations equaling JSON.parse AI response. If array is array, recommendation 10. So this is the same thing. Remember, we did it the same thing in our character recommendation. So it's just copy and paste. So this is the same thing here. Yeah, modify, check if a recommendation is empty or max attempts is reached. So this is what we get. For detailed recommendation is where we have the change. So because we're not going to be using Marvel, we're going to be using TMDb. So we're going to change it here. So here, rather than rec.title, we're going to change this up. This is going to be, actually, we can keep it the same way. That's fine, actually. So we're just going to say const query is equal to const query. So const query is equal to encode URI component rec.title. So that's completely fine, actually. So what we need to change is this here. So here we should have const TMDb response. So TMDb response is equal to await axios.get, and then the link is going to be cool. So this is going to be the link. Cool. So the rec.type is equal to TV, and if so, then it's going to be TV or movie. So that's what we're going to plug into here, and then we have our params here, and that's it. So TV or movie, and then we close this up, comma. So we close this up, comma, then params is going to be API key and query. So for the API key, it's going to be TMDb, yeah, that should not be TMDb, so that doesn't make any sense. So it should be TMDb. Let's see, did we call it that anywhere else? Okay, TMDb response, so this should be TMDb. Cool, so TMDB API key. Let's just rewrite it, make sure TMDB. Cool. So that's going to be the API key, and then we have the query, which is going to be encode URI component rec.title. So we're going to plug that in there, and that's it. So now rather than if marvel response.data, so we don't need any of this. So we can actually just take this. Where's this start? Let's see. So this pertains to the return there. Okay, cool. So we just cut all this out, and then we can just rewrite it. So in order to rewrite it, what we're going to say is, let's start with const item details is equal to TMDb response.data.results, and this is going to be 0. Cool. Okay, so we can't format it yet. So now we're going to say return spread operator for rec. So there should be 3. There we go. And then we're going to have details is going to be item dot details. Well, actually it's just going to be item details. There we go. And let's see if we're able to do this yet. Okay, so let's do this. And then we're going to say poster path. And this is going to be item details dot poster path. Cool. So that's pretty much it. Now we can have the catch. So let's see. Okay, where's the try? Okay, so here's the try. It ends here. So let's see. Did I format this wrong? I'm pretty sure I did. So we have the return. So catch should be here. Let's see. So why is this wrong? Okay, let's do this first. So TMDb error. Cool. And for TMDb error, we're gonna have console dot. Actually, we don't really need this. Okay, that's why, because we don't need that. So let's just take this out. There we go. So here should be TMDb error. And then here we can just say TMDb error. That's fine. That's what we need. And then for return, we're just going to grab all this again, plug it in here. Except for details, we're going to have null. Poster path, we're going to have null. Cool. So what's wrong with prettier now? Let's see. Okay. So it should be fine. Awesome. So this is what we have now. And so for our return, it's going to be recommendation, which is going to be detailed recommendations. Status is going to be 200. For our catch error, it's going to be error occurred. Cool. Internal server error. And that's it. So we're pretty much done. So that's all it is. So this is the last part. As you can see, all we did was pretty much copy and paste, and we just edited a few things out and put some few things in, but that's pretty much it. So that's it for the that's it for the entertainment recommendation section. So yeah, so we just scroll up, and as you can see, we're pretty much done. So we go ahead and save that. So now we're pretty much done with our APIs. So what we want to do is we want to create our server actions. So let's go ahead and go to our server action, edit, and add some few things. So let's close out an API, and then let's come down here to our source. So if we close everything up, let's see. Yep, if we close all this up, you can see we have these 4 here. So what we want to do is we want to add a new one. So in source folder, within our source, we want to create a new file, and this file is going to be entertainment. Actually, it could be lowercase. So entertainment fetch.js. Cool. We can close out of this. And then here we're going to say import Axios from Axios. Then we're going to say export async function. And here we're going to have, let's take this out. Actually, we could have kept it like that. So here it'll just be fetch entertainment. Cool. And for parameter, we're just going to have user ID. So when we have that, now we can say const response is equal to await fetch. And here we're going to have /API. Actually, let's use backticks. /API /entertainment. And then we're going to say user ID is equal to, then we're going to add user ID. Cool. Now we're going to say const data is equal to await response dot JSON. and then we're going to return that data. So you can go ahead and add some error handling, but just for this, we're not really going to be using it. So here we're going to say export async. Actually, yeah, that's fine. Let's just go ahead and use it. So try catch. So let's take this and place it in there, and then console. Just console.error is fine. Console.error, or just console log is fine. Error. So export async, and this is going to be function entertainment search fetch. Cool. And then here we're going to be passing in entertainment search. So let's take this out, and we can just, yeah, we can keep it like that, entertainment search. Now we're going to state const response is equal to await axios.post. Awesome. Let's use backticks slash API slash entertainment entertainment search. And then here we're going to be passing in entertainment search. So here it's fine. So this is what we have, entertainment search, and then we can state return response.data. Cool. So we can do the same thing here. We can just have try catch, and then we can take all this, put this within try, and then let's take the whole thing. Awesome. And then for catch, we're just going to say console.log error. Cool. So here we're taking const response. We're getting it. It's going to be a post request, and then we're using /API /entertainment search. And then here that we're passing in entertainment search, and then we're returning response.data. So here for the catch, we're going to say console.log error, and that's pretty much it. So once we do with that, once we're done with that, we can go ahead and close out of that, and then we can come over to saved items. So we can come over to saved items. As you can see, we have saved comic fetch, saved character fetch, delete comic, delete character. So now we have to have the one for entertainment. So we're going to say export async function, and this is going to be saved entertainment fetch. Awesome. And this is going to be user ID, and here we're going to have a try catch. And for the try, we're going to say const response is equal to await axios.get, and this is going to be /API /get saved entertainment. And then we're going to say params, and for params, we're going to pass in user ID. So this is going to be user ID. Cool. And then we're going to say return response.data. Cool. And for the catch error, we're just simply going to say console.log error. And here we're going to say console.error error fetching saved entertainment. And then we can go ahead and say error. Awesome. And now we can come down. Let's go to 60. We can come down here, and then we can say export async function, and this is going to be delete entertainment ID. And for this, we're just going to say try catch as well. So try catch. Within a try, we're going to say const response is equal to await axios dot delete /API /delete entertainment. Awesome. /ID. Awesome. And here we're going to say return response.data. Cool. And for the error, we're going to have console.error error deleting entertainment, and this is going to be error, and we're going to just throw error. Awesome. So we're pretty much done with this, and that's practically it. So we just set up basically our back end for the whole thing. The only thing we have now is to create our front end for both of it. So like the last one we did, the front end is going to be relatively fast because it's going to be the same CSS, basically the same everything. We're just pretty much adding the trailer version in it, so the trailer component in it. So that's pretty much it. So let's get right into the front end section so you'll be able to see what we're working on. So before we go ahead and start our front end, what we want to do is actually come into our terminal, and we want to, let's go over here. We want to actually import this npm install react YouTube, and this is what we're going to be using for our trailer. So if you go on Google and just search react YouTube, it'll take you to the npm package. You just copy that, but this is the command npm install react YouTube. You just import that, or you just download that, install it, and you should have it within your dependencies. So once we have that, we can go ahead and open it up. So let's open this up, and let's see what we have. Awesome. So let's go ahead and just log in. Awesome. So we have this still, so let's keep it this way, but we're just gonna open this up now. Also, when we come, I know we just did entertainment fetch, so we're actually gonna go back in it, and for the fetch here, we're gonna be using cache. So that's actually why I used fetch over here. I actually remembered later on. So here we're gonna use cache, and it's gonna be force cache, and you just go ahead and save that. So that way, anytime we reload or refresh our page while we write the code, we don't have to, it doesn't stall, and we don't have to wait for it to get the new data. It's just going to be cached there. So that's pretty much it. And then also when we go to hero route, the hero route, which is within app, we want to open that up. We want to add, actually, let's go ahead and open up components, and we want to create a new file, and this is going to be entertainment.jsx. There we go. RAFCE. Awesome. Now we can go to page, and here we can just insert entertainment and save that. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, that's why. So import entertainment, and this is components. There we go. Awesome. So we go ahead and close this out. So that's all we need pretty much. So when we go over to our, as you can see, we have entertainment right here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to import a bunch of stuff first. So here we have import React. Because it's a lot we're going to be importing, I'm just going to copy and paste that. Let me go ahead and close this out. So I'm going to copy, let's make this a tad bit bigger. There we go. So I'm going to import a bunch of stuff from my main project. So let me do that right now. So I'm just going to delete this and then import all this. So these are all what we're going to be using. You can go ahead and pause it and take a look at it. So I'm going to be using pretty much all of this. And this is all we're going to be using in terms of CSS. And now when it comes to the server actions, as we go along, it's going to get added to it. But these are the main things we need right now in terms of CSS and like material UI and our icons from React icons and things as such. So when we do that, then we want to come down here, and then we want to create our state hooks. So I'm just going to import that as well. So these are going to be our state hooks, as you can see right here. There we go. So these are going to be all our state hooks. As you can see, we have pagination here, and that's because, let's come up here one. There we go. That's because we're going to be using pagination for our search. So when we search things within our search for entertainment search, we're going to use pagination just in case we have an abundance of information that comes back. The other components did not have that, such as comic and characters, but this one's going to. So we're just going to keep it like this. And now when we also want to make sure that we want const items per page to be 12. So we want 12 items per page, and then we want const dialog content ref to equal use ref, and this is going to be null. And then we need const recommendation content ref to equal use ref null. Awesome. So we have that. Now the logic starts. So here we can say use effect, and here we're going to say async function, and we're going to import that that server action. Actually, first we're going to give it a name. So load entertainment. In here it's going to be try catch. And within try, we're going to say set entertainment, not loading, just set entertainment. Actually, it's going to be set entertainment loading, so that was correct. And this is going to be true. And this is for the loading. And then we're going to say const data is equal to await fetch entertainment, so that's going to be imported in, and here we're going to be passing in the user ID. Then we want to say const saved data is going to equal await saved entertainment fetch, and here we're also going to be passing in the user ID. Awesome. Now we want to say const saved entertainment IDs to be equal to saved data dot entertainment. There we go. Dot map. So let's say dot map, and this is going to be item. And for item, actually we don't need that. We can just simply state item dot entertainment ID. Awesome. Cool. So now we can state, let's do this. There we go. Now we can state const updated item is items is equal to data.map, and here we're going to use item. And now we can state let's use a spread operator, item, and then is saved. So what's going on here? Did I say items? Let's see. So let's say const updated items is equal to data.map item. Okay. And then item. There we go. That's probably why. I think we forgot the parentheses. I mean the brackets. So is saved. So is saved will be saved entertainment IDs dot includes, and we're gonna say item dot ID dot toString, and this is gonna be it. So let's do this. Awesome. And here we're gonna say console.error, and this is gonna be error fetching data, and here we have error. Cool. And now we want to set entertainment loading to false. Cool. And this is just to, and now we want to call our what's it called? We want to call, actually, yeah, we want to call load entertainment here. So in order to do so, we're going to say if we have user ID, then we want to call load entertainment. And this is going to be dependent on user ID. Cool. Now, let's come down here. We can say use effect, and this is going to be if there's no entertainment search, then set search results, and this is going to be an empty array. Awesome. And this is going to be dependent on entertainment search. Cool. Now we can say const toggle view. It's going to equal, and this is set show all, and this is going to be previous show all, and we're going to state let's see, actually let's go back here. So here we're going to state const, so this is going to be const new show all, which is equal to previous show all. And then we're going to say set visible items, and this is going to be new show all equal to previous show all. Actually, so it's going to be const new show all is equal to not previous show all, and then we're going to say set visible items new show all. Okay, that's what it is. So this should not be this, so it should be new show all. Or so if there's new show all, then we want items dot length or 10, return new show all. Cool. Now we want to state const handle submit is equal to async e, and this is going to be e.prevent default, and this is going to be set entertainment loading, and this is going to be true. Now we can say try catch, and within try we're going to say const search data is equal to await entertainment saved, well, search fetch, and this is here going to be entertainment search and user ID. So it's going to be passing in entertainment search and user ID. And then we can say const saved data is equal to await saved entertainment fetch, and this is going to be user ID. And here we're going to say const saved entertainment IDs is equal to saved data dot entertainment dot map items, and this is going to be items dot entertainment ID. Cool. Now we can say const updated search results is equal to search data dot map, and this is going to be items, and then we're going to say items, and then we're going to say is saved, and saved entertainment IDs that includes item.id .toString. There we go. Is it items? Yeah, items. Cool. So when we have that, now we can set search results, and this is going to be updated search results, and this is going to be set current page to 1, and we're going to set entertainment loading, and this is going to be false. Cool. Now for error, we can say console.error, error fetching data, and this is going to be error. And then we're going to say set entertainment loading, and this is going to be false. Cool. So now we want to create our clear search. So const clear search. And we've done a lot of this already, so it's kind of just repetitiveness. So I'm not really gonna go over it in depth anymore, because all my other videos have done that. All the ones within the series have used the same kind of logic, so there's no point in elongating this process. So here's set search results. This is going to be empty array, and then set current page, and this is going to be 1. Cool. And here we're going to say const, we want to make our pagination here, so index of last item is equal to current page times the items per page. Cool. Now we want to say const index of first item is equal to index of last item minus index minus items per page. And here is going to be const current items is going to equal search results dot slice, and this is going to be index of first item and then index of last item. So within the course of all my YouTube videos of the projects we've built, we've added pagination to a lot of it. So if you want to see a breakdown of how pagination works, you can go to the older videos that have pagination in it, and it's going to explain it in depth. But here the concept's pretty straightforward. We want to get the index of the last item, so that way in order to do that, we're going to take that current page and multiply it by the items per page. In order to get the index of the first item, we want to get that last item we created and subtract it from the from all the items on the page, so the items per page, which I believe is 12. So yeah, items per page here is 12, so we're going to subtract it from that. Now to get the current items, you're just going to slice, meaning you're going to take the index of the first item all the way to that of the index of the last item. So since we're using slice, I believe it's 1 before the last item. So let's see. So we have current, so we stopped at current items. So here we're going to say const total pages is equal to math.ceil. There we go. And then we're going to say search results dot length and divide it by items per page. And that's just pretty self-explanatory when it comes to math to get the total pages. So you want to take the search results, the amount of data you get for the search results, and you just want to divide it by 12. So that's how you know how many pages you're going to get. So handle page change is equal to a value, which then is going to be set current page, and this is going to be value. Cool. And now we can say const. So we're pretty much done with that. So now we want to work with our click open, which is our modal. So handle click open is going to be a sync, and here we're going to have item. And then for for handle click open, we're going to have set selected item, and this is going to be item. We're going to have set open, and this is going to be true because we want to open a modal. And now we also want the trailer key, so we're going to say set trailer key, and this is how we store the trailer key that's going to play the trailer for us. So here it's going to be null, so when we open it, it's going to be null. And then set recommendations, this is going to be an empty string, an empty array. And then we're going to say set recommendation loading, and this is going to be true. Cool. So that's upon opening. So now let's open this up. We can say try catch, and within try we're going to say const response is equal to await axios.get, well, .post. And with post, we're using /API/trailer, and this is to get the trailer. So here we're going to pass in media type. So it's going to be media type, because remember, that's what we receive in the back end. And here it's going to be item.type. Cool. So this is going to tell us if it's a movie or if it's a, let's do this. So this is going to tell us if it's a movie or a TV show. And then after item.type, we want to pass in the ID, which is going to be item.entertainment ID. And then this is going to be set trailer key. And this is going to be response. So let's do this. So it's not going to be in here. So here we're going to have set trailer key. So we want to store it. And this is going to be response.data.trailer key. So this is going to be the default for trailer key. Cool. And now for error. Actually, before we jump into error, let's just come down here and let's create our recommendation response. So const recommendation response is equal to await axios.get, well, .post. And this is going to be /API/entertainment recommendation. There we go. Is it recommendations or recommendation? Let's see what we named it. Entertainment. Let's see. Is this the right one? Nope, this is search. Let's see, entertainment fetch. Recommendation, so it's not plural. So this is going to be recommendation. Let's double check that actually, because I don't want to get an error when we do this. Yep, it's singular. Cool. So entertainment recommendation. In here, we're going to pass in the item details. And this is going to be title, which is going to be item.title or item.name, depending on if it's a movie or a TV show. Type here is going to be item.type. And then we're going to have description, which is going to be item.description. Cool. Now we can say const save data is equal to await saved entertainment fetch. There we go. And this is going to be user ID. And now we can go ahead and create saved entertainment IDs, which is going to be saved data dot entertainment dot map, and this is going to be item, and this is going to be item dot entertainment ID. Cool. Now we can say const detailed recommendations is equal to rec response dot data dot recommendations dot map, and this is going to be rec, and this is going to be let's use a spread operator here, and this is going to be details. So let's do this. Cool. And within details, we're going to have another spread operator, and this is going to be rec dot details. Now let's do this, and this is going to be is saved, and is saved is going to be saved entertainment IDs. Cool. And then we're going to have dot includes dot, well, rec.details.id.toString. Now we can do this and say vote. Well, let's use poster path first. So we're going to say poster path, and this is going to be rec.poster path, and then we're going to get overview, and this is going to be rec.details.overview. And then lastly, we want the vote average, and this is going to be rec.details.vote average. So let's see, details. Cool. Awesome. So this is what we get. And now we can say, let's come to, let's see. Let's come down here and let's say set recommendations. And here we're going to have detailed recommendations. And here we say set recommendation loading. And here it's going to be false. And now we can state if dialog content ref dot current, then we want dialog content ref dot current dot scroll top equal to dialog content ref dot current dot scroll height. Awesome. So now we can work on our catch error. So this is going to be console.error, and this is going to be failed to fetch trailer or recommendations. And this here is going to be error. So here we can say set recommendations loading, and this is going to be false. Cool. So we can come down here and we can set up handle recommendation click. So const handle recommendation click, and this is going to be equal to async recommendation, and here we're going to say try catch. So for try, we're going to say const response equal to await axios.post, and this is going to be slash API slash trailer. So we're going to pretty much do the same thing. So we might as well just grab it from here. Where's trailer? Here we go. Let's just put it over here. Cool. So now what we want to do is you just want to change this up. So this is going to be rec.type, and for ID it's going to be rec.details.id. Cool. So now we can set trailer key to response.data.trailer key. And now we can say if dialog content ref, then we want to say dialog content ref dot current dot scroll top equal to 0. Let's see. And then for catch error, here we can say console.error, and this is going to be failed to fetch trailer for the recommendation. Cool. And then this is going to be error. All right. So now we want to deal with handle close. So const handle close. And for this, we're just going to set open to false. We're going to set selected item to null. And then we're going to set trailer key to null. Cool. Now we want to be able to save our items. So const save item is equal to async item. And here we're going to say try catch. And within try, we're going to say const items to save is equal to, and we're going to say spread operator item, and then we're going to say type, and this is going to be item dot type or movie. So what we're saying here is default to movie. If the type is not provided, then we're just going to default to movie. And here we're going to say if there's no movie or TV, so string, cool. That includes item to save dot type, then throw new error, and this is going to be invalid type field. Cool. However, if we do have movie or TV, then we want to await axios.post. So we're going to be sending this to the back end of /API/saved entertainment. There we go. And then the fields are going to be item, items to save, and this is going to be user ID. Cool. And now we want to be able to update the states immediately after we save. So let's come down here, and then we're going to say set items. There we go. And this is going to be previous items. And here it's going to be previous items.map. Awesome. So let's see, we made an error somewhere. So set items, previous items, and this is going to be previous items.map I. Awesome. And now this is going to be I.id, and then we can say is equal to item.id, or, well, I.id is equal to item ID. Then we're going to use the spread operator for I, and we're going to say is saved to true, else we're just going to keep I. Cool. Awesome. So now we want to also do it for set search results. So here we're going to say set search results, and for this we're going to say previous results. So we've done this times without number within the other components, so we should already know what's going on here. So previous results dot map, and we're going to say C. So let's do this over. Set results, set search results, sorry, and this is previous results. Awesome. And then this is going to be previous results dot map I, and this is going to be similar. So here we're going to be i.id is equal to item.id. Then we're going to use the spread operator again for I, and then we're going to say is saved is true, else it's going to be I. Cool. And now let's see, where's this? Cool. So now we want to do it for set recommendations, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing. So this is going to be previous recommendation, and then we're going to say previous rec. Let's use S. Previous recommendations dot map, and here we're going to say recommendation dot details. Then ID is equal to item.id, or actually I do that wrong, rec.details. Yeah, it should be rec.details.id is equal to item.id, or there we go. Now we're going to have the spread operator for rec details. There we go. Is saved is going to be true, else we're going to have rec. Cool. So that's going to be for set recommendations. So we're going to have set selected item, and then here it's going to be previous item. We're going to have previous item and previous item dot id is equal to item.id. Then we're going to have previous item, comma, is saved, and this is going to be true, else we're going to have rec. Cool. And then so let's just go right into the catch. So this is going to be console.error, and here we're going to have error saving item, and here we're going to say error. Cool. So that's pretty much it for save item. So now we're going to work on unsaving the item. So to unsave, we're going to say const unsave item is equal to async item, and here we're going to have try catch, and within try we're going to say await delete entertainment. There we go. So that's a server action that's going to import, so it's going to be item.id. So now we want to update the states after we unsave. So we should have set items, and here it's going to be previous items, and this is going to be previous items dot map, and it should be I, and pretty much we're doing the same thing all over again. So this is going to be spread operator, well, not yet. So this is going to be I.id is equal to item.id. Then we're going to have the spread operator, and this is going to be is saved. This is going to be false because we're not saving, because we're unsaving it. And then we're going to have so this is going to be our else, and it's going to be just I. So let's see. Okay. Oh, it should be here. There we go. Awesome. So this is for set items, and then we're going to have for set search results. So let's see, where's this end? There we go. So for set search results, it's going to be set search results, and this is going to be previous results. And we're pretty much just following the same process. So this is going to be previous results.map. And here we're going to have I. And here it's going to be I.id is equal to item.id. Then we're going to have a spread operator here. For I is saved again is going to be false. Else we're going to have I. So let's see. So now we're going to have set recommendations, and this is going to be previous recs. So we're almost done, guys. And this is going to be previous recs.map, and we're going to use recommendation. And here we're going to say rec.details. Awesome. .id is equal to item.id. Then we use the spread operator for rec, and then we say details, and details is going to be spread operator rec.details, and is saved is going to be false. Awesome. Else is going to be recommendation. So did we make an error somewhere? Oh, no, we did not. So this right here should be where the or is. There we go. So we just had an extra field here. Cool. So after we do that, now let's see where this is. There we go. Now we can state set selected item, and this is going to be previous item. So you already know how this works. And this is going to be previous item, and previous item.id is equal to item.id. Then previous item is saved is going to be false, and then we're going to have previous item. Cool. Awesome. So that was quick. And now for catch error, we're just going to say console.error, and this is going to be error unsaving item, and this is going to be error. Cool. And now we have a last function to create. So this is going to be const handle heart click is equal to item, and this is going to be if item dot is saved, then unsave item, and this is going to be item. Let's see, what did we name it here? Unsave item. Yeah, what's wrong with it? Oh, it's just spelled wrong. Okay, so it's just the syntax. Cool. And else we're gonna say save item. Cool. So I lied, we have one more. So here we're gonna say const items to render. So these are items you want to render on the screen, and you want to say search results. So if a search results dot length is greater than 0, then you want to render the current items. Else you want to render the items dot slice, and this is going to be from 0 to visible items. Cool. And then lastly, you want to say truncate is equal to, and you want to create a string. So you want to pass in a string and a number, and we're going to state if the string dot length is less than 20 characters. Cool. Then we want to return the string, Awesome. Else we want to return string.slice, and this is going to be 0 number, and we want to append it with the ellipsis, or I think that's what it's called. Actually, that's it. So that's all our function. That's all our logic for the entertainment page. So now we can actually start seeing what we build on screen. So before we go ahead and actually do the return, let's go ahead and do this. So let's close out of this and let's create our saved route. So let's close out of API, and within app, we're just going to come here and new folder, and we're going to call this saved. So this is going to be our saved route. And within our saved route, we're going to have page.js. So here we can go ahead and export default async function. And this is going to be saved. And let's just return. In here, we're just going to return this. So here's where our saved data is going to be. So within components, let's go ahead and create a new file, and this one's going to be called saved comics.jsx, and we're just going to say RAFCE. Let's create another one, and this one's going to be saved characters.jsx. Okay, and we're gonna have saved. So we have saved comics, saved characters. This is gonna be saved entertainment.jsx. Cool. So now we can come back to this page and we can import all of them. So we're gonna have saved comics first, and then we're gonna have saved characters, and then we're gonna have saved entertainment. So now when we open up our application, you can see that if we come over to this saved, now we have saved entertainment, and the rest are going to be all over the place, but pretty much they're going to be up top here. So we've not we've not styled our page yet, so this is why it looks this way. But as you can see, now we have a saved page. So let's go back to our IDE. So here we're just going to write out the functions and the logic for all this. So what we're going to do last is just create the CSS portion for every single one of them. So that way we don't have to worry about going back and forth with the logic. So the logic's going to be pretty similar. So let's start with saved comics. And with saved comics, let's come over here. So we have import. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import all the imports for saved comics. So for the imports, let's do this. So this is going to be the import. Let's close this out. So these are going to be all the imports. Let's do this. Awesome. Cool. So these are going to be the imports for saved comics here. So these are going to be the imports for saved comics, and then as you can see, we're going to be using a bunch of icons from Material UI. Everything else, delete icon, is going to be from Material UI. Also, we're going to be using use auth, and that's going to be coming from auth context. Delete comic. These are all server actions, so we're going to see that being used later on. And then within saved comics, we're going to have the state hooks, so I'm going to import that as well. So here it's going to be this. So these are all the state hooks we're going to be using, and then we're going to be using user ID with use auth. So we're going to import in user ID from use auth. So this is practically it. So now we can go in and start writing the logic. So we're going to have use effect, and within use effect, we're going to say async function, and this is going to be fetch saved comics. Awesome. So fetch. Awesome. And now we're going to have try catch. And with try, we're going to say set loading. Nope. Set loading. Awesome. And this is going to be true. and we're going to state const saved data is equal to await saved saved comic fetch, and this is going to be taken in user ID. We're then going to say set comic data, and this is going to be saved data dot comic, and that's going to be an empty array. Cool. Now set loading is going to be false. Now with the catch error, this is going to be console.error, and this is going to be error fetching saved comic, and this is going to be error set loading is going to be false. Cool. Now let's see. Cool. So now we can say if user ID, then we want fetch saved comics. There we go. So we want to call that function, and then it's going to be dependent on the user ID. Cool. So we've seen this before. We did that not too long ago. Now we have const handle open, and this is going to be taken in comic. Here we're going to say set open, and this is going to be true. We're going to say set selected comic, and this is going to be comic. And now we can say const handle close is equal to, and this is going to be set open to false. Const delete item is equal to async comic, and this is going to be try catch. And for try, it's await delete comic, and we're going to be passing in the comic dot user dot comic ID. Cool. And here we're going to say set comic data to comic data dot filter. So let's do this. Awesome. And we're going to be filtering state in c.comic ID if it's not equal to well, it's not going to be equal to comic.comic ID. So there we go. And then we can just have our catch. So for catch error, we're going to state console.log error and console.error error deleting comic, and this is going to be error. Cool. So now we can truncate, we can import in our truncate. So for that, let's go over to entertainment and pull this up here. Where is it? And for truncate, we're just going to take this because we already created it. So it's going to be the same function. And now we can say if loading, then we want to return div class name width is full, height is full, and flex justify center, items center, and then we want to pass in circular progress, and that's it. Cool. So that's it for saved comics. So let's actually do this. So this is it for saved comics. Now we can move on to saved characters. So saved characters. With saved characters, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. So for import, I'm just going to import from my main application. So let's just do this. Awesome. So these are going to be all our imports. It's pretty much similar to the one we just did. And then we're going to have our state hooks here. So I'm going to import that as well. So that's going to be this. So this is going to be the state hooks we use. Awesome. So this is going to be it. And now we're going to have our use effect. So it's going to be quite similar to what we just did. And here we're going to say async function. Awesome. So async function fetch saved characters. Cool. And now we're going to say we're going to pass in user ID actually. And here we're going to say try catch. And within try, we're going to say set loading is true. We're going to state const saved data is equal to await saved character fetch. And this is going to be user ID. We're going to say, set character data. And this is going to be saved data dot character. Then we can say set loading to false. Awesome. Now for catch, we're just going to say console.error, and this is going to be error fetching saved characters. And this is going to be error. And then we're going to say set loading, and this is going to be false. Cool. Now, if user ID, so if we have a user ID, then we want to fetch saved characters with the user ID. Cool. So by doing it this way, we don't have to put a dependency. It should just be an empty dependency. So empty array right there. So now we can say const handle open is equal to async character. And this is going to be set open, and it's going to be true. We're going to say set selected character, and this is going to be character. We're going to say set selected comic description, and this is going to be an empty string. Cool. Now we can have handle close, and this is going to be arrow function, and here we're going to say set open. This is going to be false, and we're going to say set selected comic description, and this is going to be empty array as well. So now we can have delete item, so const delete item. In here we're going to say, let's use async, and we're actually going to be passing in character. Cool. Here we're going to say try catch, and within try we're going to say const response is equal to await delete character, and we're going to pass in character dot ID, and we're going to say set character data, and here it's going to be character data dot filter, and we're going to filter it with c.id does not equal character.id. Cool. So actually, for error, we're just going to say console.error, error deleting character, and this is just going to be error. Cool. Now we can have const handle comic click, and this is going to take in the description, and we're going to say set selected comic description, and we're going to pass in description. And now we can also bring in that truncate. So we're just going to do the same thing. Cool. And then we're going to have that same if. Where is it? Saved character. Saved comics. So we're just going to have this conditional statement. Awesome. So we're going to have this as well. And that's it for characters. So let's do the same thing here. Cool. So that's it for saved characters. And then we can go on to saved entertainment. So let's close out of this. Saved entertainment. So for saved entertainment, the imports are going to be a little bit more. So these are all the imports we're going to have. As you can see, we're going to have YouTube, Axios, Badge, and the rest of them are going to be icons, saved items, which we had before, and use auth. So these are everything. This is basically everything we're going to be using. And then for our hooks, we're going to import that as well. And this is going to be, there we go. So these are all our hooks. So you can just pause that and copy that down. And then when we do that, now, as always, we're just going to start with our use effect as we've been doing. And here we're going to say async function, and this is going to be fetch saved entertainment. And here we're going to have try catch. And for try, we're going to say set loading to false. We're going to say const saved data is equal to await saved entertainment fetch. There we go. And we're going to say try catch. Cool. Saved entertainment fetch. Oh, this should just be, there we go. This should just be user ID. Cool. Now we can say set entertainment data, and this is going to be saved data dot entertainment or empty array. Set load in here is going to be false. Cool. So let's see. So now we can go ahead and create our error handling. So this is going to be console.error, and here we're going to have error fetching saved entertainment. Here we're going to have error, and set load in here is going to be false. Cool. Now we're going to say if user ID, then we're going to call that function. So then we're going to say fetch saved entertainment. There we go. And it's going to be based on, it's going to be dependent on the user ID. Cool. Now we can go over to work on our handle click open. And here we're going to have it asynchronous, and we're going to pass in the item. And here it's going to be set open to true. We're going to have set selected item, and this is going to be item. This is going to be set show trailer, and it's going to be false. We're going to have set trailer key, and this is going to be null. Cool. Now we can state await fetch trailer. So this is going to be in here actually, since it's await fetch trailer. There we go. And this is going to be item type item.entertainment ID. Cool. So that's what we're going to have for handle click open, and then for handle click close, it's going to be set open. This is going to be false. We're going to have set selected item, and this is going to be null. We're going to have set trailer key, and this is going to be null. And we're going to have set show trailer, and this is going to be false. Cool. Now in order to fetch our trailer, we're going to say const fetch trailer is equal to async, and this is going to be taken in media type, an ID, and we're going to say try catch. And for the try, it's going to be const response equals await axios.post, because we're sending it to the back end, and this is going to be slash API slash trailer. And now we're going to send media dot type equals media type. So let's see what we do wrong. Actually, it's not dot, that's why. And then ID is just going to be ID. Cool, so we're going to send that back, and then whatever we get, we're going to say const set trailer key, and it's going to be response.data.trailer key. And we're going to say set show trailer, and this is going to be true. Awesome. Catch error is going to be console.error, and this is going to be failed to fetch trailer error. Cool. Now we want to create our delete item, so const delete item, and this is going to be asynchronous as well. We're going to pass in the item, and here we're going to say try catch, and for try it's going to be await delete entertainment, and we're going to pass in item.entertainment ID. We're going to state set entertainment data, and this is going to be entertainment data.filter. Cool. And it's going to be i.entertainment ID does not equal entertainment does not equal item.entertainment ID. Cool. Awesome. And then we're going to say if selected item dot entertainment ID is equal to item.entertainment ID, then set open to false and set selected item to null. Awesome. Now we can work on our error handling. This is going to be console.error error deleting item error. Cool. Now we can work on our truncate. So we're just going to come over here and copy this again, paste it in there, and then our conditional statement. So let's just take this from saved comics and plug it in there. Cool. So just like that, we're done with it. What we have left is just now we can work on our actual entertainment. So now we can write out our front end code, so our CSS and everything for entertainment. So back in entertainment.jsx, what we want to do now is work on our return. So in order to speed this process up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a lot of copy and pasting. So let's finish this up real quick. So let's do this. There we go. So now if we go to, let's go over to characters. Let's go to comics. So if we go to comics, we're going to be able to take everything from the first div all the way to, let's go all the way to show all. So let's see. Where could we start? Let's see. let's start with this. So let's come from here all the way up here. So we're just going to take everything from here, and we're going to take, let's do this. So we're going to do this. We're going to take all this. We're going to paste it in here. We're going to paste it in here. So let's take this out. Cool. And then we can do this. Let's give this a div. And then div. Cool. Now we can go back and take this div and place it in here. So let's see, does that work? Oh, nope, wrong place. Cool. So now we can come over here. Cool. And we can give this a fragment because we're going to add our modal to it. Cool. So now if we open our application, so let's come here, npm run dev, npm run dev. Cool. And we open this up. Awesome. So you can see we have Discover Comics as well. So we don't want it to be Discover Comics. So let's make this half a screen, and let's make this, let's bring this over here. Awesome. So we have this, but it's not going to be Discover Comics. So we can close out of this. Cool. And here, rather than Discover Comics, it's going to be Browse Featured Titles. So we can take this H1. So let's do this. Awesome. So we're going to take this H1, delete it, and we're going to add this. So it's going to be Browse Featured and Titles. So it's going to be Browse Featured Titles. It's going to look like this. So that's all we're changing there. We have our view all. That's there. So we have everything we need right now. We have show all. The only thing now is we're going to change these from comic search to entertainment search. So this should be entertainment search, and this should be set entertainment search. Cool. So anywhere you see comic, we just change it to entertainment. So this is good, and all this is good. Yeah. So now if we open this up, let's see. Let's take away this open chat real quickly. So let's go over to our page. Where is it? Our hero. There we go. And let's take out chatbot really quickly, just so we can let's see. There we go. And now if we come back here, view all, as you can see, it's because it says comic search. So we got to change this as well from comic search. Where is it? This is on line 384. So I mean line 348. So let's go over line 348. And here it shouldn't be comic search. It should be entertainment search. So practically everything we're doing just everything we're doing is just declare anything that says comic to entertainment. So now let's try it again. View all. There we go. So now we just have to change what the placeholder is. So let's go ahead and close this out. So that's the placeholder currently. So now we have to go to placeholder, and we're just going to change this. So the placeholder for this is simply going to be search. So there you go. It's just going to be search, and that's it. So we see that our toggle works properly. So that's it for the first portion. All we did was copy and paste from comics. So rather than do it all over again. So from this div to this div, and from show all the way down here. Now we can go ahead and import the next part. So if you come to comics and you scroll down, you can see that the next part is going to be comics to render. So what we're going to do is we're not going to copy all of it because we need the badge portion. So we can actually just type that portion out. So let's go ahead and do that. So here we're going to say div class name. This is going to be with, let's do this. This is going to be with full. Height is going to be full. padding X is going to be 8. There we go. And it's going to be show all. So if we have show all, then we want a grid with grid columns of 3. And then it's going to be justify center. Else, we want flex overflow X scroll. So overflow X scroll. There we go. And then we want medium height of 40 view height. And then we're going to keep everything as items center. Awesome. Cool. There we go. So everything's cool. Now we can now state items to render. We can map through it, .map, and then we're going to have item and index. And here we're going to have div. So this should be div, and this should be div. And let's take this out. Awesome. And for div, what we're going to say is div key is equal to index. Cool. And now we can have class name as let's see, you know what, I'm just going to import the class name because that's a lot to type out. So the class name is, let's do this, let's do this. So for the class name, we're going to have this. Let's see, what do we have as an error? Class name, blah, 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 blah. So let's see, what was the error? So let's just take this out and then this. Okay, so we failed to close it. There we go. So this is going to be the class name. The class name is going to be width of, so class name is going to be width of 30 view width. We have show all. So if we have show all, then we want pattern to be 5, pattern X to be 5, flex shrink to be 0, cursor pointer, transform, transition duration 300, ease in and out, hover, shadow large, and then we want the hover to be shadow white and relative. So after doing so, now we can state, come over here, and now we can state on click. And for on click, we're simply going to say handle click open, and this is going to be item. Cool. And after doing that, we're going to have div class name, and this is going to be a relative. Let's see, we got to close this div as well. There we go. And for relative, we're going to have that badge from material UI, and the badge content is going to equal item dot vote average to get the rating average. There we go. And to fixed, there we go, 1. So we want it to 1 decimal place, or not available. So let's see. Cool. So that's it. So if it's not available, then we want this star after it. So we want to place this there. So let's see. Seems like there will be an error somewhere. We did not close out of it. So before we close out of it, let's go on by finishing it up. So let's say color is going to be, so let's do this. Let's do this. Awesome. And now we can state color, there we go, is going to be primary. Anchor origin is going to be vertical top. And then we're going to say horizontal is going to be to the right. Now within badge, we're going to have the image class. So image class name, this is going to be width full. We want medium width to be 70 view width. We want the height to be 20 view height. We want the object to be cover. We want the rounded to be large. So now we have our source, and our source here is going to be item.posterPath. So if we have item.posterPath, then we want it to be, I'm just going to import that link, and the link is going to be this. So let's go ahead and do this. Awesome. So so if we have item.posterPath, it's going to be https /image.tmdb.org/t/p/original item.posterPath. So let's see what the issue is. Expected something got, oh, okay. Or this is going to be like we did in the previous components. It's going to be slash, give me 1 second. So let's see, item. Or actually we did not finish this up, so https blah blah blah. Okay, or okay, let's see where this problem's coming from. Okay, so we have this, let's place that in there. Or, and for or, we're gonna have slash, there we go, slash placeholder.webp. So let's see if that works. So it's probably, or it's fetching the data now because it's the first time we're calling it. So if it doesn't fetch it in a couple of seconds, then we'll see if there's a problem with it. So let's give it a minute. But as we do that, we can go ahead and finish this up. And for alt, so now we're going to have the alternate, and this is going to be item.title, item.title, or item.name. Cool. So it seems like this is still fetching. Let's give it a minute. So while that's still fetching, let's go ahead and give a div class name. Here we want to give it some kind of opacity, some kind of black overlay on it. So here we're going to say absolute. So what we want to do is give it a black overlay. So here it's going to be absolute inset 0, and this is going to be black background, so background black, and then we're going to have opacity at 50, and this is going to be rounded large. Cool. And then we can just close that div. Awesome. So this is what it's going to look like. So let's see, did anything fetch? So let's open this up and see if anything's wrong within our console or our network. Nope, we don't have anything. Let's see our network here. Let's refresh this. Let's look. Do we have it loading? Entertainment anywhere? Entertainment fetch. It's 200. Okay, so let's just give it a second. And let's go back here. Awesome. So after doing so, now we can have an icon button. So icon button. And for icon button, we're going to have, let's close it up. There we go. So for icon button, we're going to say on click is going to equal E. And the event, so we're going to pass in the event. And when we pass in the event, we're going to have E dot stop propagation. So we did this earlier. So and then we're going to have handle hard click, and here this is going to take in item. Cool. So let's see, it's still loading up. And then for style, awesome, we're going to have position, And when it shows up, you're going to see what this all does. It's just placing the icon, the heart shape icon on top of the image. So here we're going to have 5%. We're going to have left, and this is going to be 70%. We're going to have color, and this is going to be items. Item.isSaved. So if we have items that is saved, then we want it to be red. If not, we want it to be white. Cool. And now, so let's see, why is this not showing up? Oh, inspect, console. Okay. So let's see, titles, entertainment fetch, console. So we don't have any errors. So let's give it some more seconds and then I'll try and debug it, but let's finish this out first. So for icon button, we're gonna say item.isSaved. Then we want FA heart. So that's the heart icon. Else we want FA reg heart. Awesome. So that should be it for that. And then right after the icon button, after we close it, we want an H1 class name. And this H1 is going to be width full. It's going to be padding of 3. This is going to be text white. We're going to have text center, font Poppins. And here we're going to truncate. And we're going to use items, item.title or item.name. And it's going to be 10 characters. Now we can, let's see what's going on. This should be within. This should be within this. There we go. So now let's focus on this. Now let's see what is rendering. Let's console log items to render. So let's come down here. Where's items to render again? So let's come over here. Console. Where is the? There we go. Console.log item. So let's see. Do we get anything back? So inspect console. Let's try it again. Console.log item. Okay, let's try console.log items to render. So everything comes out as empty. So that's probably why. That's most likely why, not probably. So let's go to items to render and let's see what the problem is. Items to render. Let's just search it. Items to render. There we go. So search results is 0, current items. So console.log current items. It's an empty array as well. So where's current items? So current items is search results.slice. Okay, so this is fine because it's saying it's search results. Okay, so what's the other one? I think it's visible. So let's go over to, let's just search it. So I believe it's visible items. Visible items, there we go. So we set it to 10. Okay. And where did we get the data? So did we ever get the data for it? So when we fetch it, So the problem seems to be with set items, we actually never placed it. We never actually set it to updated items. So here we're just gonna plug this in. So that's why. So set items within load entertainment is supposed to have updated items within it. So now, if we save that, let's come back to our code first. So where do we stop? Okay, so we're right here. And now we can do this. So now let's refresh. There we go. So we get our code pretty much immediately. So let's see. Awesome. There we go. So that is what we want to see. So we just forgot to do that. And then for the badge, as you can see, it's kind of not where we want it to be. So we have to restyle it with the icon. Is that the badge or the icon? Both. So the badge and the icon. So let's see where it is. Yeah, we don't want it there. So that's not where we want it. So let's go ahead and reformat that. So for the problem is for badge, we forgot to style it. So here we're going to place this in there. So the SX. So this is actually, let's take this and let's do this. Right here. There we go. So right here, we're going to give it this styling. So as you can see, immediately that changes. So you just go ahead and copy the styling. It's the MUI badge styling. So you could put that there. And then for the image, it's going to stay the same. And then for the icon button. So funny thing, I actually just looked at my main application and it's actually right there. That's the proper position for the icon. So if you guys want to move it around, you can go ahead and play with this styling here, but we're just going to leave it at that because that's what it looks like in my main application. So this is all done when it comes to the styling portion. So now what we want to do, let's see, does this work? Yep. Okay. Do we get an error when we click out of it? So let's see. Inspect console. So we have error deleting, so let's see. Error deleting item. Let's see, saved items, 65. So let's see what we have going on. Okay, so let's go into saved entertainment. I'm not saved entertainment. Let's go into saved items here. 62. Let's do this. Let's close out of this. Make this shorter. 62. Delete entertainment. API. Okay. Delete we fixed that. So delete /API. Delete entertainment. Yeah, we fixed it. So what did we call it here with an API route? Delete. Ooh, please tell me we created a delete entertainment. Oh, that's the problem. So we did not create a delete entertainment. You know what? Let's quickly make that. So I'm just going to copy and paste and go over it. So delete entertainment. That. And then this is going to be routes.js. Awesome. So I'm just going to copy and paste into this. Here we go. So it's pretty much the same thing we've done for every other delete component. So for every other delete route, I mean, so we're just going to do all this. So you're taking in the request, the parameter, and this is all you're doing. So we actually even didn't need to use the request here, but you just leave it as such. But this is what it looks like. You go ahead and pause it and just copy that down. So this is what it looks like. So what we're doing is export async delete request params. So we're taking in the parameter, const ID. We're taking the ID. We're importing that ID from our params. In here, you're going to say const is valid object ID. So you're making sure that the ID that we get is valid within the database. or is valid within our schema, so within our database. And then try here, we're going to say delete entertainment. So if the object is if the ID is valid, then we want to find by ID and delete the ID. Else we want to find one and delete by entertainment ID, which is ID. And then if that delete entertainment is not, if there's no delete entertainment, then we're going to say item not found, status of 404. Else we're going to return next response of message item deleted, and that's a 200 status. So this is what we're hoping to see. And then this is just error handling. So that's pretty much it. We're going to close this. And now this should point to something, not just an 404 error. So we can close that out. And then let's make this smaller. Cool. So now let's try it again. Let's refresh this since we have that now. And if we do that, oh, we're still getting an error. So what is this error now? Inspect console. Still 404 not found. Let's see. Why is that? Did I not save it? Delete entertainment. Okay. Everything looks saved. Okay. Now if we come to saved items, what are we passing? We're passing the ID, /ID, entertainment. Cool. This should work. Entertainment 372. Let's take that out. Let's on console that 320. What was it? 380, 372. So let's take this out, and let's take this out. Cool. So now we don't have to worry about that. Let's just close out of this, and now let's refresh. And let's see. So it's still saying not found. Okay, so it's still saying not found. So we have to go in and fix that. All right, so after debugging this for a while, I went back into the database and I deleted the saved item and tried to resave it. So what I found out was, one, we had this wrong within save item within the function save item. We have this for set selected item, but here we're saying if we have item.id, then this. If not, then recommendation rec. Whereas we're supposed to have previous item, not rec. So here I redid it. I just copied this and brought it down here, and I changed it from rec to previous item, as stated here. So this will allow it save. And then for the unsave, we didn't do anything wrong here. So this is all nice, and yeah, this is fine. So all this is fine. And the error was coming because when we close out of this, when you go to when we created that delete entertainment, although we are getting the ID from params, we forgot to initialize that route properly. So this should be, if you if we open this more, I can't. That's the highest I can go. So basically, if you look at this route, you'll see it's Marvel YouTube, source app API, and then it goes delete entertainment, and then ID, and then the route. So the route is within the ID component. So here, let's see if this shows how. Yep. So as you can see, it has app/API/delete entertainment/ID, and then the route.js goes within the /ID. So that's why. So now if we save it all, and let's go back to entertainment, and we go to entertainment. Awesome. So if we go down here, let's go back to where we are. Awesome. Now, if we click save, it saves. If we unclick it, it unsaves, saves, unsaves. So that works just fine. So now we can actually start working on our modal. So for the modal, actually, do we want to work on modal or the pagination first? So let's see. Let's work on our pagination first. So we're going to say div class name is equal to width full, height is full, padding of 10. And then we're going to state if we have search results dot length that's greater than items per page, and there we go. Sorry, not and. So items per page, then we want div class name. So if search results dot length is greater than items per page, then we want the div class name to be flex justify center y4. So margin y4. We want it to be width of full, height of full, and cool. And then within it, we're gonna have pagination, and with pagination, we're gonna have count equals total pages. There we go. And we're gonna say page is equal to, and this is gonna be current page. And then we're gonna say onChange, and onChange is gonna be handle page change. Then we're gonna state variant is gonna be outlined. We're gonna say color, and color is gonna be secondary. Awesome. Now we can state, let's do this first. Let's close it up first. Cool. Now we can state SX is equal to, actually, I'm just going to copy that because it's a lot. So it's going to be, let's take this out. It's going to be this. So SX. So let's make this bigger. And here, as you can see, SX is all this. So you go ahead and copy that. And that's practically it. So let's do this. So that's it. So now we can go ahead and add our modal to it. So let's see if everything works so far. So if we go in here, view all, and let's say, as you can see, okay, let's see if we have, so yeah, I know it looks like a lot, but we're just gonna keep it that way. And then let's see if we can search for, what's a Marvel movie, Avengers. Let's see if that works. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, Avengers works. Here's the pagination for it. Interesting. So let's see, what did we do wrong? Avengers. So page 1, page 2, page 3, back to page 1. So there's an error there. So let's fix that. So for onChange, let's change this up to this. So let's have this as onChange event value handle page change value. So let's see if that does anything. So let's come over here and let's refresh it first. So let's come over here. Let's say Avengers. Awesome. There we go. So as you can see, it works properly. All we needed to do is just change this onChange. And there we go. So our search works fine and our pagination works well. So as you can see, just clicking that X reverts it back to default. You're able to save, unsave, save, unsave, and then you can view less. So now if we click the actual card, nothing shows up. So that's what we want to fix. So that's where the material UI comes in for dialogue, and which is just basically modals. So now if we go back to comics, let's open up comics here, and for comics, let's open this up. Let's see. So we can go to dialogue. Do we want to use comics or characters? Yeah, let's use comics. So let's take everything from dialogue. and it's going to give us an error, but we're just going to take dialogue to dialogue, just because I don't want to retype all this out. There we go. And this should give us an error if we open it up, but we're just going to edit this part out. So what we're going to say is, let's keep it this way, handle close, blah, blah, blah. And here, rather than selected comic, it's going to be selected, it's going to be, let's just take this out. It's going to be selected item.title or selected item.name, depending if it's a movie or a TV show. So now that we've taken dialogue content out of it, so now we can bring it back. So here we're going to say after dialogue title, we can go and say dialogue content and close it up there. So now we're going to be using my actual application. So we're going to be using this as a reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy everything from within dialogue content and then go ahead and explain it. So you guys are going to see what it's actually doing. So let's copy this and I'll just do this. Cool. So for dialogue content, and this is just to hasten the project. So for dialogue content, what we're going to have is this class name. We have this ref. And then here we're going to say selected item. So if we do have a selected item, then it's going to be div class name. We have the div class name here. Now we're going to say if we have a trailer key within this selected item. If we have a trailer key, then we want to use the YouTube tag. The video ID is going to be the trailer key. So this YouTube tag is just the import YouTube. So we're just importing YouTube. And then the video ID is going to be the trailer key. And the class name is going to be this. We're going to close that up. So if we have the trailer key, then we have this YouTube. Else, if we don't have a trailer key, so for example, for things such as TV shows, there's no trailer key. Like I didn't send a trailer key for TV shows. So we're going to have it as an image, and the source is going to be selected item.poster path. If there is a poster path, we're going to be using the TMDb image for it. Else, if there's no image for it, we're going to be using our placeholder. It's a placeholder we've been using for characters as well as comics. So we're going to have that. The width is going to be 500, height 500, layout is responsive, priority is true. And then we're going to come down here after we close all that up, and we're going to give it its name. So we're going to give it an overview, which is the description. So the P class is going to be P5, selected item overview, selected item.overview. If there's no overview, meaning there's no description, we're just going to put in no description available. So this is going to be our placeholder if there's no description. And then we're going to say, we're going to give it a saved button. So if selected item is saved, so if we save it, then we want this button to say unsave. Else, we want it to say save item. It's the same thing we've been doing for the other components, such as comics and characters. So it should still be the same. It's the same idea. And then when we scroll down, now the typography is going to be you might also like, and this is for our recommendation. So it's going to say you might also like for the div class name here, rather than recommendation. So this should be recommendation, not recommendations. So let's see, is that correct? Recommendation content ref. There we go. So this should be recommendation content ref. And then we're going to have recommendations loading. It's going to be the same process. And the recommendation is pretty much the same thing with all of them. Recommendation.map. We're going to map the recommendations. And then here for typography, it's going to be truncate recommendation.title. And we want it to be 10 characters. And the same thing here, the type, the description, and now the image is going to be this. So this is the image for the recommendations. So we're going to use this logic to get the image. And then our icon button, which is save and not save, the save and not save and unsave hearts. It's a standard with all the things we've been doing so far. So we're just going to plug this in, and then that's pretty much it. So that's it. So that's pretty much all of it. Now let's see, is there, don't forget the on click here with recommendations.map. It's going to be a handle recommendation click, and you're passing in the recommendations. So go ahead and save that. Now let's see if it actually works. So let's minimize this, and let's see if our titles work. So if we click on it now, there we go. As you can see, it works. It gives us the overview here. We're able to save it, unsave it, and you might also like is loading up. So let's see if it actually generates anything. So for some reason, you might also like did not work. So let's see what that was about. So let's open up our terminal here, and it's going to tell us why. So let's see. So on terminated string in JSON at position 1136. So let's open this up and read this properly. Slash API entertainment recommendation. So let's go over there. API entertainment recommendation. Nope, that's search. Entertainment recommendation. There we go. So there's an error here. What number is it on? What line is it on? Recommendations is not defined. Let's see, where do we have recommendations? I bet you it's just a syntax error. Recommendations. So let's go over to this, and let's initialize recommendations here as an empty array. So let's say let recommendations be an empty array, so that way we get away from the error saying it's not been declared. And then let's try it again. So awesome. So let's try it again since we cleared out our terminal, and let's see if this works now. So let's minimize this, and let's try it again. So let's try for another one. Let's say the marbles. So everything works well. You can see the image. This is clean. You're able to save, unsave, save, unsave, and there you go. So this works. So this is the recommendation. So as you can see, it does work. Now if we go back to that other one, Marvel, let's see if this works as well. Save works, unsave works, save works, unsave works. So let's see, you might also like, is this gonna, yep, so this actually gives us something. So as you can see, the type is movie, description is here, it gives us everything we want. So this is awesome. So now to finish it up, so we're basically done with our entertainment, so we can close that up. Now we want to work on our saved. So we want to work on, there we go. So we want to work on our saved route. So if we come over to saved, the first one we're going to work on is not API. We're going to be within our saved, not even saved page. We're going to be doing saved comics first. So remember, we already did the logic for it. So now all we need to do is basically like type it out. So work on our front end portion. So for this, what we're going to say is, let's give it a fragment here, and let's put everything within this fragment. Awesome. So here for the div class name, we're going to say width full, height is full. We're going to give it a padding top of, let's do this. We're going to give it a padding top of 8 view height. There we go. So now we can actually see something. We also want to say background is black, and let's see. So we want background black and text to be white. And then we're going to say font Poppins. Cool. And here we're going to give it an h1 class name, and the h1 class name is going to be text 3vmin. We're going to say padding of 5. We're going to say font bold, and this here is going to be comics. Cool. There we go. Now let's give it another div. So div class name. There we go. And for this class name, we're going to say flex overflow x auto. Space here is going to be x and 4. Padding is going to be 5. And we can go ahead and state if we have comic data dot length that is greater than 0, then what we want to do is say comic data dot map comic index, and here we're going to say div and here the key is going to be index. And then let's come down here. Class name here is going to be width 30, view width, padding of 5, flex, shrink 0. Awesome. And we're going to say cursor here is pointer. We're going to say transform, transition, and we're going to say duration is 300. Ease in and out, hover, shadow, large. And we're going to say hover, shadow, white. There we go. Relative. Already have that closing. So within this, we're going to state, let's see, image, class name. This is going to be width full. Medium is going to be padding of 3. Height is going to be auto. We're going to have object cover, rounded large. And then we're going to have our source. And for our source, it's going to be comic.thumbnail.path. And then we're going to append it with comic.thumbnail.extension. Cool. And here we want to say alt, and alt is going to be comic.title. On click is going to be handle open, and this is going to be comic. Cool. So it's going to give us an error for right now, but we'll go ahead and fix that. So let's see. So where are we getting this problem? Oh, so we don't have an or. So the or is going to be basically, let's do this for right now. Let's give it a div here and a closing div here. Cool. So as you can see, those are our 2 saved items. So let's do this. So those are our 2 saved items. It's looking pretty clean. And then after we do that, now we can use our icon button. So right after this div, where is it? Right after this, before the div, we're going to say icon button. And for our icon button, we're going to have the delete button. Oh, the delete icon. And that's practically it. Awesome. So we're going to have that delete icon. And then we're going to say h1 class name. And this is going to be with full text center. We're going to have font Poppins, and here we're going to have truncate, and this is going to be comic.title, and this is going to be 15. There we go. And that's going to be it. So why can't we see the delete icon? So for the delete button, for the icon button, we didn't put the class. So let's do this. So we're just going to add this class to it. So There we go. So the icon button is going to have area label is going to be delete. On click, we're going to have delete item, and we're going to pass in the comic. And then for the styling, it's going to be position absolute, right 8, top 8, color white, background color RGBA 0.5. So pretty much white. So it's like it's just dark and opaque. There we go. So, and then we have this delete icon right here. So you're able to delete the items. So we'll test that out once we're done, but we're done with this portion. So for this, we're going to say div class name. This is going to be with full height is going to be 33.3 view height. And we're going to state flex, justify center, items center. Awesome. And within it, we're going to have this h2 tag. And within the h2, we're going to say no saved comics. And that's all it is. So now we want a dialog open. So when we click on it, so here we're going to state, so here we go. Right here, we're going to say dialog. And here we're going to have open is equal to open. On close is going to be handle close. Max width is going to equal medium, and we're going to say full width, there we go, is equal to true. Class name here is going to be background white. Well, let's go rounded, large, pattern of 4, and then we're going to have paper props. And here class name is going to be, there we go. So class name is going to be background white, dark, background gray, and this is going to be 800. And then we're going to have text black. Dark here is going to be text white. So all we have to do now is this. There we go. So now for our dialog, so if we click on that, as you can see, there's nothing popping out yet. So for our dialog, we can just import the dialog. So rather than type it all out again, for the sake of time, we're just going to import this and go over it. So what we're doing, so here we have the dialog, and then we have dialog title, and dialog title is going to be class name text 3.5 vmin for fonts Poppins, font semi-bold, text center, and it's going to be selected comic.title, and that's going to be it for title. And then for dialog content, we have class name flex column, item center with full height full. And then when we load it, so load in, we have circular progress. Else we have selected comic, then we have this, so selected comic.thumbnail, and then the image is going to be this, and then we have the description for the comic. So if you just wanted to copy that really quickly, what you can do is you can go into your comic. So if you go into comics, you can look in dialog content. So where is dialog content? There we go. So you can look into dialog content. So just within dialog, you can just copy it all the way till where is it? You can copy all of it till you get to the description. Yeah, till you get to description. So you can just take description all the way up to dialog title, basically. And that's basically what I just did. That's all this has. And then you can just close it there. So that's the fastest way to do it. So you're not reinventing the wheel. You're just copying it from what you already have and pasting it directly in there. So let's see if this works. So if we click it, Wolverine the Long Night, this is it. And as you can see, we have nothing else there, just the description. And if you want to take it out of here, so let's say we want to delete this one, just go ahead and click on that and it's gone. So if you refresh the page, it's gone. So this is what we have left. So if you ask me, this is coming out pretty cool. Now we can do the same thing for saved characters. So if you scroll down, we already have all this. So for saved characters, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. So let's go into saved comics again. We can go ahead and copy this. No, not the whole thing. We can copy the return, copy it, and post it in there. So here, we're just going to leave it as saved comics. It's going to give an error. It's going to give an error because it's comic data. We're not using comic data. It's going to be characters. So here we're just going to say character. We're going to change everything to character data. Cool. And everything comic is going to be changed to character. So let's go ahead and do that really quickly. This is going to be character data. Let's see, character. Cool. Character and character. Here we're gonna have character. Cool. And this is gonna be character. Character. No saved characters. Let's see. Selected character. Selected character. Character. There we go. There we go. So what else? So let's just make sure everything says character. And this should say characters. So let's log in. And let's go over to saved. So here, character data dot length. So where is it? There we go. No saved characters. So let's see if that's actually true. So let's go over to characters and let's pick her. So we save her. Let's come over to saved. And as you can see, it still says no saved characters. So we have a problem here. So let's see. So in order to debug that, I actually had to redo the whole thing for characters because I couldn't find the single issue. So what I'm going to do is when I deploy this, since this is the last part, I'm going to include the GitHub repo. So you're able to clearly see the characters portion. So I literally went back and redid all of characters. So I did the characters and anything that pertained to characters within the route API routes and the components. So rather than do that all with you, because I couldn't find the singular thing that made it that caused the issue. It was like a chain of things that had to change here and there. So I ended up just redoing it. So I'm gonna post a repo to this below at the description, below in the description box, so you can go ahead and just clone it or whatever and see what the link looks like. So here in saved characters, if we do this, let's move down, let's bring that down, and let's bring, so I had to go into MongoDB to clear everything out to make sure. It was a whole ordeal. So let's just it took forever. So with characters, now that we have this characters in there, I believe we stopped with characters. So selected characters would be .name, because this is for characters. And then for here it says undefined, so let's see why. Let's see. And it says no, so character title gonna be .name. There we go. So it'll be character .name here. So when we click on this as well, no description available. And when we come back, now you can see that the item has been saved. Let's go ahead and save this one. Awesome. So now if we come over to saved, we should also see this individual saved as well. So if we open this, no description. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's search for a character. Let's say Thor. This is gonna take a while. Okay, so that's another thing we got to debug, I'm guessing. So Thor, let's see. So welcome to the life of web development. So you're pretty much stuck with deployments most of the time. So let's see. Oh no, it just took forever. Awesome. So that was just coming from the Marvel endpoint. So that just took forever to fetch. So let's save. Does this one have? Nope, this has nothing. So does this one have anything? Let's see. No description. Okay, this one has a description. Let's go ahead and save this. Are we able to save it? Inspect. Console. So what's the problem here? Okay, it just takes forever. So it's just taking forever to do that. Let's see. Okay, so that's fine. When we go to saved now, so we can close out of this, view less, we can go to saved, and here we have that Thor, and we have the description, so it works well. So that's all we're looking for. So that works fine. When it comes to the images, they're all the same size. It's just, I mean, the cards are all the same. Now the images are going to be a little skewed. You can go ahead and set it up however you want. You can give it a permanent height. So that way, if we do this, you can give it a permanent height. So that way, everything's uniform. But for this, it doesn't really matter as much. If I do that, I extend the video a little bit longer. But let's see, height. Let's give it, let's try this. Let's say 50 view height. Okay, that's a lot. So let's give it 20 view height. That's a little too short. Let's give it 30. Okay, 30 kind of works. Yeah, let's give it 30. So not everything's uniform, so that way everything looks the same. Okay, we should not be able to. Okay, so now delete doesn't work. So like I said, guys, welcome to web development. Things break. A lot of things break. So a couple of things. Now it can't reach this delete. And also, we shouldn't be able to save multiple items within our database. Multiple of the same items within the database. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I was able to fix it, and the problem was basically the path was delete characters, and we said delete character. So we just have to go into the database and clear the whole database out, and then restart it. But like I said, the repo is going to be posted in the description, so that way you don't have to worry about debugging as much as I have to. So let's go ahead and do this. Now let's go back to saved. So let's go over to saved. Awesome. So nothing's saved right now. Let's go ahead and save these 3. And let's go over to saved. We can go ahead and close this out. And then here we go. So these are the saved items. If you click on it, you should see that. Click on it, you see this. And if you click on this, you see that. So now if we click that, we still get why are we getting this error now? Weird. Let's see. So the error comes from this. So here we have const response is equal to await delete character. We pass in character.id. And then here we say set character data dot filter c.id does not equal. So here with the c.id, it should be c._id. So that's what we have here, and everything else is fine. So if we just change c.id here, should be c._id, and that should work fine. So So that should work fine. So if we go ahead and hit, let's delete this, we're good. So that deletes just fine. And that's all we have to do. So now if we scroll down here to, where is it? No description available. We want to come down here and we want to state, so right before this div, we want to come over here and we want to place this in. So what we're pasting in, let's open this up and let's make this a tad bit bigger so you guys can see it. Awesome. So what we just pasted in was, where are we? Let's see. There we go. So right here where it says no description available, we have this div, and this div is going to be width full, height full, the font's poppins, and then H3 is going to be class name, font semi-bold, text XL, and margin bottom 4 with comics as the header. So here we want to show the comics, so the comics that are associated with the characters. So it's pretty much like I said, this, if you go to characters and you come down here all the way down, you should see where it says where is it, no description. And so right after no description, you can just take the div that follows and scroll all the way down, all the way to comic. Basically, we're also going to be using selected comic description, so we're also going to be using that, but you're just copying everything here is all we're doing. So that way you don't have to reinvent the wheel, basically. So we have all this. So selected character.comics.length is greater than 0. Then you want all this to happen. You want the handle comic click that we already we already wrote out the function at the top, and you're taking in comic.description, and that's practically it. So now after that, within here, you want to paste this in, which is the selected comic description that I just showed you, and then you can go ahead and save. So when you come over here to characters and you click on it, at the bottom you see no description available, no comics available. Let's try another one. So let's try Black Panther maybe. So we don't need to open it, let's just save it. Is it gonna take a while? Come on. So it's probably just taking forever to save. Let's see. Inspect. Console. Okay, so it's already in there. So it just took forever to be in there, I guess. We don't need 2 of them. Let's just grab 1. And here also no comics available. Let's go back down. Let's make sure it did save. Yep, it did save. It just took forever to do so. Let's try Thor. And it's gonna take a second to load up. So here we have Thor, as you can see, and the comics also loaded up as well as you might also like. So everything's here. So if we go ahead and just, let's save this. So we save this Thor, so it's saved over there. We view less, and now we go to saved. If we scroll down, we see it here. So now if we click on this, as you can see, we have the description here, and we have comics here. And at the bottom, if you click on any of this, you're gonna either have the comics, or you're gonna have the description for the comics, or nothing's gonna be shown if there are no comics. If there's no description for that comic. So that's practically it. So that's all we want to do for that. And now lastly, we have saved entertainment. So we're gonna go ahead and build that out, but it's just gonna be mostly copy and paste. So let's go ahead to this. Let's open this up, and then let's close out of all of this. And we just want to open up saved entertainment. There we go. So for saved entertainment, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to copy it from my own project. So I'm going to go into saved entertainment, and I'm just going to copy the return, and then we're just going to walk through it together because it's pretty much the same thing we're doing. The only difference is we're using trailers. So if we go ahead and do this, save it. There we go. So here it's going to be entertainment data is going to be what's going to be used. If you scroll down, you can see this is also going to be selected item, and then here we're going to have that YouTube video ID, and that's it. So what you can do is basically, the reason I could just copy and paste that is because if you go into entertainment, it's the same thing. You're just grabbing literally the whole dialogue here, and you're excluding some parts such as is saved and the typography for the recommendations. So you don't need the selected item is saved. You can stop right at description, and everything else is practically the same for the dialogue, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you scroll up to the top here, it's also similar to what you have on in entertainment. So with that said, let's save this and let's go over here. So handle close is not defined. Let's see. I thought we had so it's handle. Let's just change this to handle close. It's the same thing. String.length. So for truncate, let's do this. Awesome. So now saved item. So here it says undefined for the name. Why is that? Let's see. Item.title or item.name. It should be one or the other. Let's see. So let's do this, and then let's inspect it. This is interesting. So I guess we didn't save the name. So when we console log save data, we get this, but what I'm realizing is within our model, we don't have, for entertainment, we don't have title there. So we're just gonna have to redo this model by adding title to it. So it should, so we should have title somewhere here. So right here before overview, let's have title, and this should be string. Awesome. So let's go over to, let's close this out. Let's see, for our backend entertainment, this is entertainment.id, this is entertainment search, this is entertainment recommendation. Where's save entertainment? There we go. Here, okay, here we have title, item.title, item.name. So we just failed to save it, so that's why. So as you can see, it doesn't show here. So what we can do is we can delete this from the database. There we go. And then we can resave it. So now we're gonna have it saved, and we can try again and see if the name comes up. So right now it shows that it doesn't, but that might be due to it being cached. So let's see. Let's come down here to saved entertainment, item.name, blah blah blah. Let's see, inspect console. Actually, we would have to delete the whole database and restart it. So you can go into MongoDB, entertainment, it's not showing title still. So let's delete this again. Okay, now we can go back to that model. And let's say, yep, title string, entertainment, there we go. So what we can do is say, let's clear out of this. Let us clear the cache. We can close out of that. npm run dev. Awesome. So now let's try it again. Marvel, saved. There we go. So now it says Marvel. So we just have to, this is web development, guys. You're just going to be debugging a lot. And sometimes, I mean, if you're smarter than me, you might not need to debug that much. But for me, I have to debug here and there. So yeah, so if we click on this now, we should see Marvel at the top and the description there. Let's see if we can find one with so let's see. Are we able to find one with a trailer? Huh, I wonder why we're not seeing the trailer. So we should see the trailer. Let's see. So for entertainment, we should be seeing the trailer because we did give it that conditional statement. So let's see. YouTube trailer should be down here somewhere. There we go, for trailer key. So let's see if we do get a trailer key. So that's probably why. Console.log trailer key. So let's inspect. Let's see. 485. Interesting. Let's see. Console.log trailer key. Let's put it here. And let's see. Do we get anything? So okay, so we get null. So we don't get anything back for the trailer key. That's the problem. 171 overview. Let's see. 171. So let's do this. Awesome. So now why don't we get trailer key? So let's see what the response is here. Console.log. Console.log response.data. And let's see what we get here. So let's go to console. Trailer keys coming up is null. That's the problem here. Okay, so now why is that so? So we can go to the back end and let's see trailer here. And are we missing something? So actually looking at it, as you can see here, it says site is YouTube and the T here is capitalized. So that's the problem. It's case sensitive. So there we go. So that's actually it. That should be it. I think that should be it. So now if you come back up here, let's try it again. Let's close out of this. There we go. Yeah, so now we get the trailer. So the trailer should be shown there. For saved, this just doesn't have a trailer. Let's go back to Marvel, the Marvels, and let's go to saved. If you click on it, there we go. It should show you this. And let's see if our search functionality works. So let's go to Marvel, view all, and let's look for what's a Marvel TV show? Doesn't matter. Look for Thor. So for Thor, we click on it. Why is it not showing the trailer? Okay. Thor Ragnarok. Still not showing the trailer. So let's do this. Let's delete browsing data. Delete data. Let's refresh it. And let's try it again. So now let's look for Thor. Interesting. So for some reason, okay, let's try something else. Let's say Marvels. Okay, so when we search, so let's go to entertainment. When we search within our modal, let's see. So after debugging, here you can see handle click open item. If we console log item here, so currently, as you can see, we already figured that for items, the visible items that are not searched, you can now see the trailer for pretty much all of them. Now, if you search and say Thor, this just gives you a hard like image. So it's just the image. So now if you go to inspect, you can see that it's giving you a null, so there's no trailer key for like Thor, for example. It gives you null. So if you look within the console log items, you see that there's no. Let's do this first, so it's easier to contrast. So if we look at the Marvels, the one with the trailer, you can see that it has entertainment ID, whereas here there's no entertainment ID for Thor. We just have ID. But the good thing is, as you can see, entertainment ID and ID are the same thing. They're the same numbers. So the quickest way we could do this is we could simply state item.entertainment ID or ID or item.id. So now we can close this, and if we say Thor, we should be able to get that trailer. So that's what it is, and then we should be able to save it. So when we save it, as you can see, it's saved here. We can close out of this and then come over to saved, and at the bottom here you should see Thor. When we open it, same thing. So yeah, everything seems to work just fine. And with all that is now our project. That is how you create all this. So you might have gotten confused there at the end because I had to debug a lot of things, but that's the essence of web development. Very seldomly do you get everything work at the same time at once. Something's always going to break, typically. So you just want to limit how many things that break is pretty much all you're doing when you're writing a code. So you're just on the lookout for things that will make your code break, and make sure like you have that you have a lid on that. So, but like I said, this is the whole code. This is everything. This is all you need to know how to do to build this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll leave a link to this repo in the comment section, in the description as well. So like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of the project, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.